variety of
What's up, guys? Hope everyone is well. We're back with the penultimate episode of the TheAKwatch following season 3 of Kaguya-Sama Lovers War Ultra Romantic. No basic romance over here, we only do a big ultra romantic. And my usual co-host, Daniel, the last time we're doing this, season 3. Oh my days, talk to them, man.
Greetings and salutations, people. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed the episode. It was a great episode, great way to close the season. And we even got confirmation for season 4, so we know that they haven't left us high and dry. And yeah, great episode, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, elite settings. I heard that Kaguya-Sama is number 1 now on some of the forums. I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Yeah, probably for like a couple of days, and then the FMAB fans will come through with their downvotes.
The haters, they're problematic individuals. You guys need to stop it, man. Let other people eat. Let other people have their enjoyment, have their time to shine.
Facts.
So generally speaking, this is a 2-part episode, but collectively is a 1 hour bit. How did you feel about the overall, ending to the series?
I think it was a really strong way to close the season. I think near perfect, to be honest. Just the combination of what the season was building up to. They were doing this anticipation when they set up the cultural festival. Then when we were in the cultural festival, we seen everyone's individual plot lines, and now we've got what we've been waiting for the whole series, basically. And I feel that the way it was done, I haven't seen it done like this before. I think it was the right time, especially since it's the 3rd season. People were probably thinking, oh yeah, it's been taking a bit long. So I feel like the author timed it well and executed it well. What did you think, Kaja?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think a lot of people, if it kept on dragging out, would have been like, oh, this is actually just, you're taking the mick. We're getting tired of this trope. We need actual events to take place to keep us hooked to this show. And they definitely delivered in this episode, especially how they kind of put all the small baby steps to get to this such a significant moment. And to do it like that, oh my day, I have to just give them a hand over applause, because elite levels. Elite levels. That's why every season is great. These writers, they have it on lock.
Facts. And like you were saying with the length, because right now I think they actually said that Kaguya's about to finish in like 14 chapters, and I think they've got, so it'll probably end around 207, around 280. And for a rom-com, that's quite long actually. So, and this confession happened around chapter 130, I think. I don't know the specific one because I haven't read it, but I know the chapters that people have told me anyway, it was around this time period. So that's quite I guess it did take a while to get here, but I do understand why, because like, if you think about like the first season, it didn't really have, it was more episodic, wasn't it? It wasn't really like a connecting storyline. So you could really say that the series kind of started after that whole firework thing. That's when we really started to go into the characters and seeing their motivations. So yeah, once again, he timed it well.
No, he definitely did. There's definitely been like just a change from season 1 to season 3, which I've definitely liked. But anyway, jumping in to this episode, is it 12? 11? I'm lying. Episode 11. The first section, Kaguya Wants to Confess, part 2. And these parts at the beginning were still getting me in the mindset, oh, we're never going to get a confession, man. It's just part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, just forever. But it is what it is. This, in general, what did you think about this first section before I share my thoughts?
So based off what we were saying last week, this first part, it showed me that Kaguya is a good person because, and also that she's very thoughtful because of, especially with the reaction where she didn't overreact, and the first thing she did after she heard that he was going to Stanford, she said, "Well done. I'm proud of you. That's something that even I would find hard to do. Obviously, I need to do my thing, so I'm gonna go, but we can celebrate a different time." Even though that news to her was a big shock, she still praised the president for this achievement because it is a big achievement. So that's something that that's stood out to me, just Kage's character, because she was even saying to Hayasaka, because of all the things she likes about the president, she can't hold him back from going to Stanford, because if she did that, then she'd be holding back the core of what makes him, the things that attracted her to him in the first place. So that's why she had to let go. And I respect that she was willing to do that, and she knew that, okay, like, even though I don't want this to happen, I know what I need to do to at least keep our relationship.
I'm not gonna lie, in my heart, I wanted Kaguya to be dramatic. I wanted her to give that Love Island energy, like just be mad extra. I'm not even watching Love Island like that, but that's the type of energy I wanted. I was like, Kaguya, just go off, do the most, but obviously well composed, and it's actually exactly like we kind of predicted from the last episode. We definitely said this is kind of the way she's most likely going to behave and the patterns she's going to showcase, because it's just within her character. She's not somebody who is going to really, like, just because it's against what she would want, would say no or stop or express themselves in a way that will make the other person feel even a tad bit negative about what they're doing in terms of their kind of choice and their decision. So, like, we're always onto Kaguya about being not mature, but in some aspects her maturity is so high, like ridiculously high, and how she deals with some of the situations like this. I just love how immediately she goes to the number one queen, Hayasaka. Need to get that advice. Oh my days, I've been saying since forever, Hayasaka's pay rise, the money needs to keep growing, needs to keep stacking, because she deserves that. But,
oh yes.
Like, the pay package needs to be large. If not, like, I'll be writing.
I think that's one of the subtle things that showed that the situation rattled her, that she just went to Hayasaka while she was technically undercover, well, not undercover, but in one of her disguises to, like, protect the relationship, so that the other people don't know. That she just said, "Oh yeah, come with me," and she didn't really care what the other people were thinking. She just said, but Hayasaka kind of saved it. Kind of shows how professional she's able to be. She's quick thinking. We've seen that before. So yeah, and I think this section showed the sisterly bond between Kaguya and Hayasaka. Just how she's, sometimes she's making these jabs and she does it here, but she still, it kind of, especially at the end where she just gives her a hug. It just shows that she does really care for her and she wants the best for Kaguya. And even though she's been changing a lot over the last few months or in the recent times, she really wants to be the supporting pillar for her. So yeah, Hayasaka in this section is great. Quite funny too with the whole plan that she set up. the ultra romantic. I don't know how she drew that up so quickly. I respect for that.
No, 100%. Kaguya definitely showed this is like the most growth we've seen in terms of how reflective she is. This is the most I've seen her understand and express kind of the depth of feeling. Because sometimes in the past she said her feelings, but she doesn't add the extra. So like you can see the desperation in her need to kind of express it now because she knows that this might only be her last opportunity. And it's clear cut, it's desperation. She was like, oh my days, Hayasaka, he's leaving. What do I do? This is how I need to tell him. And I love that she has someone like Hayasaka who is able to balance her out and, you know, be calm and level-headed and always be in her corner and, you know, drive her in the direction that is going to get the results that she needs. But talking about the plan, how did you rate the plan?
I think it was good up until the point where Hayasaka says, okay, give him the heart and then you confess, because obviously Kage didn't know what to say. And then but I think it was a good plan, you know, just having the presidency, archery, Kaguya, because I don't know if she's seen her when she's in the whole garb and stuff. She
needs
does
to see
looking
that.
different.
He needs to see that fit. That is a significant. If you're not seeing that fit, you're not living. That fit is different. When the hair's back and the arch, that she needs to have the bow and arrow in her hand as well, or the archery gear.
Yes, sir. And then just them two alone on the rooftop. That's always going to be a nice atmosphere. Gives the gives the situation some ambience or whatever. So and then they're just drinking a hot drink while they're being close together. She said is mega positive. I don't really understand all those euphemisms that she was using. And then obviously the trinket, you know, Hoshin and Heart, we already know the significance of that. So that would have probably even, you know, sealed it. And then she just vocalizes what she did with her gesture. I mean, it's a good plan. It's just Kage didn't really know what to say. But what was your take on the plan?
I believe it was just too many steps for Kaguya to focus on, and that knowing Kaguya, she's always going to get in her head in terms of perfecting each step to its like fullest potential. I think she needed one basic situation to say, just get him here and have a conversation instead of step 1, step 2, then step 3, get coffee, then express your love. Even what I found super funny was like you said, the different kind of tones Hayasaka was having her say in. She's like, oh, no, that's not enough positivity. That's too this, that's too that. I just thought, I don't know if Hayasaka was doing that just to kind of distract her a bit by not having her super focus on my guy Shirigane, but have her kind of think about the moment, as in, so like people when they think about a date, instead of thinking about the person too much and think about what conversation they're going to have, they're more focusing on the establishment, the food and stuff, and that kind of takes all the stress out of it because she's controlling all the elements that she can control. So Hayasaka is definitely just allowing, I feel like, Kaguya to relax and not be too stressed about such a poignant and big milestone that she's gonna actually have to do, and she kind of knew that it was gonna happen today, so just distracting her by these kind of points instead of thinking about shirigane at this moment in time just allowed Kaguya just to be, even though she's still gonna be frantic and, you know, emotional and, you know, apprehensive, just thinking about the small details, especially when we saw later on in the episode, like she was going through the things in her head. Oh, get this, get the coffee, but, you know, be at this location. It just makes the whole thing so much more simpler in her head.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what was also important about, even though it was kind of mixed in with the comedy, what Hayasaka was saying was important, especially what she was talking about the 5 Ws. Now I don't know about structuring your confession like you're doing for some English language exam paper. I don't know about PEE, all them things there, but when she was talking about the information about how things can be misunderstood or like setting yourself up for failure, she is right. You can't just say anything. You need to be, you need to make it specific. You need to explain why. You need to make sure the person knows who you're talking about, because as we have seen with Ishigami, it can lead to obvious misunderstandings, and even Kaguya also acknowledged that she can set herself up for failure because she's too scared to commit. When she was like, she said, Shirigane was like, what is it that you love? And then she's like, oh yeah, shortcake. And then she was like, I wouldn't put that past myself. So yeah, I think Hayasaka, she was putting Kaguya on. She's like, yo, you need to be clear, concise, because we don't have time to waste. And I think the author was being, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. Or I can't remember. Like maybe breaking the fourth wall because there was like this one line. This isn't a romantic comedy that's entered filler mode.
Yeah.
So I think my dude, like, the clock is ticking, But yeah, Hayasaka, once again, she was given the wisdom. Can't lie.
No, it's true. Hayasaka said, we're not longing this scenario out. This is not gonna go beyond today. This is gonna be the end of it. We finish it. Get to destination real quick. And I definitely respect that. And that's basically most of the events that happen in that section. Following, if you want to move on to...
That's one comment. I love the little breakdown, when Kaguya was talking about all the things that she liked about the president,
Oh, yeah.
That whole sequence of... this is like another tangent, but just the whole production of these 2 episodes and the animation, the character drawing, sound design, OSTs, the voice acting, all of it was really top notch. Like everybody went like they pushed their limits, they went past them, because that sequence in this part was really like I could feel the emotions welling inside me, like it was building up when she was going through all these little things, and then you feel the emotion.
Yeah, it brought Hayasaka to tears, man. Like, it was actually a lot. Like you said, it's good you pointed that out. Just how expressive, vulnerable, and open Kaguya was. And especially when she, like, did the lines and it was, like, perfect. It was that time when she perfected it. And it was, like, to the point, expressing her love. And we're like, oh my days. We're going to get a confession today. That's what I was saying in that moment. I said, they're not going to skip around this. This is actually going to get a confession. And that's definitely lit. So moving on to the second part, Kaguya wants to confess part 3, and King Ishigami.
Hey, your last requiem.
Well, this is my final dance with the idea of these 2 together, because it might not happen. They're pretending and giving me hope, but I know deep in my heart, somewhere real deep, that what I want to transpire will definitely not transpire. I really like this section. Ishigami is a gentleman, and man, pull up the jacket when my girl is feeling cold. Sweet words. Hey, he's
got game different. When he's being casual.
He does.
Do you understand how smooth that was? She said, "Oh man, it's cold. Maybe you should have been inside." He said, "Don't worry. You see, what did she say? She said he's serious and thoughtful. You see, that action exemplified what she was describing. But yeah, continue, sorry.
Nah, you're right. He definitely has game when he's not in his head. And it was like throughout this section, he was at his this is the most relaxed I've ever seen him. And that's a lot to do with he was in a environment where he was able to kind of flex his knowledge and just be comfortable. Like when man was discussing the flowers and stuff, I just felt that he was so comfortable just communicating his passion and stuff that he didn't have to, dilly-dally or feel nervous or overthink. It was similar to one of the first really cute moments between Kaguya and Shirigane when Shirigane was talking about the stars. Like, man was so passionate about the stars. There's actually no room for him to overthink the situation and be scared or be apprehensive. You know, he just had to be himself and show out his passion, and that's definitely showcased here. And Tsubame, I know she's feeling him. It cannot be denied. She's definitely 100% feeling him.
I feel the attraction at some like small or like fundamental level has to be there from the fact that she spent the day together and they went outside and they're talking and she's just listening to this guy talk about flowers, and you know, you can't just do that with anyone. Okay, say this Chris girl comes up to you and she starts talking to you about this how to make pickles. Are you gonna stay there?
Not gonna lie, no. To be honest, no. I'll be trying to get out of this conversation real quick.
She's talking about how to ferment the pickles or like make the cucumbers. I don't even know how you make pickles, so I can't describe it. But the point is, he's talking about this the flower languages, and I don't know. It's just he's just talking about something he loves. It's nothing really to do with her. She just said, "Oh yeah, I love the flowers that bloom there," and she's explained it, and she's just listening earnestly, even when he's misunderstood and he's kind of over explaining. She's still listening. She's like, "Wow," you know. So I feel like there's an attraction there, but I'm just a bit worried because of this dumb misunderstanding.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later, but I want to focus on the good stuff for now. But just like I think I really enjoyed the interaction between Tsubame and Ishigami in this section. It really showed to me what I want to see more of it. You know, I want to see more of these two together. I want to see them hanging out more often because I feel, especially when Ishigami is in his chill mode and he's just like, you know, they're just being calm. He gets her flustered, and I think she's taken aback at how relaxed and suave he can seem when he's, you know, just being him and he's not trying to overly focus on being cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think this was definitely the first time where it felt like their relationship kind of, or the status levels were kind of equal. There was nobody higher than the other, nobody trying to be something that they're not, or trying to reach for something that they're not, or reach for somebody else. It was like, it was so balanced. Like, Tsubame was fully herself in such a relaxed manner, able to then, you know, showcase her like real personality, and that her stocks are rising again from last week. last week sudden dip. It wasn't dramatic dip, but it was a dip. But the stocks are back on the rise. Buy in, guys, buy in. Yeah, I think coupled with Ishigami, it was just beautiful to see how, like, now as a viewer we can see how this will work and this will like take place, and it is practical. It does make sense because I know previous episodes you kind of questioned me, especially when it came along, like, do they actually know each other? And beyond that, we were like, okay, how would this relationship kind of look, and is it really something that will produce the best in both of them? Because there's other people that we could see, if they connected with, it might make them happier, or they might just be better people within that relationship. But this moment, it was like, okay, yeah, both of them will be able to make it work. They're dynamic, their ease by which they can talk to each other and understand each other, how calm they are, the obvious kind of attraction between each other. So yeah, this is when the moment when I was back on the boat sailing.
I feel it.
Sailing.
I think especially because of you know, this is her last cultural festival, you know, as they kind of made it a point to, I think even she emphasized it, and the fact that she spent it with Ishigami, her first year. So that's someone she literally met this year. I'm sure she's got friends in the second year and even in her own year. And I don't know what her relationship with those guys are, but it's just I think it just shows maybe the interest that she has, that she's willing to spend her last culture festival with her first year who isn't really well liked. And that's another thing where I have to give a bonus to Sabami, where these girls, of course, they just come in
The
hating.
haters.
It's it's even hard for me to call them haters because we even agreed, looking at the situation from the outside. I mean, it was a mad situation. You just walk into the class and you see Ishigami beating on the Don, and then the Don obviously turned the crowd to his side because Ishigami wasn't really well regarded, or he was just a quiet kid. So they're just like, oh, what, a quiet kid is nothing. So I can understand because he did spin the story like a madness, and then Ishigami didn't come back till high school, so everyone is already gonna have that, and he never tried to clear it up. So, but it still hurts to see them going up to her and saying, "Oh yeah, don't be careful about him." But Tsubame is just kind enough and being like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna be the bridge that serves between you and him." I've actually talked to him, and he's actually serious and thoughtful. She already had positive things to say, and I kind of wish that would her positive vibes would rub off on the other people. And then I don't really think Ishigami cares about his public image, but it's still kind of sad to see that this late into the first year, people still don't really like him because of what happened in the middle school.
Yeah, man. Obviously, like you said, it's understandable why they have that outlook, but because the love for Ishigami is so high, I was punching the screen. I was like, okay, I'm ready to fight, ride or die kind of antics. But yeah, it just shows like the kind of maturity and just the kind of character she is. She doesn't let other people's opinion override her judgment on them. She's going to give them the opportunity to show their qualities and what they are, because it might be true, it might not. She is basically on the thought of, I'm going to find out for myself, I'm going to establish my own relationship with this person, and that would define what I think and what I believe, which is definitely a good quality to have. And it's also a difficult quality to have, because it's easy to sit in the bracket of letting other people kind of dictate your thoughts of what your view you should have on any subject matter. Is it ease or comfort, especially if you've known this group of people or you're comfortable with them and been with them for a long period of time? You're just gonna trust their assumption, trust their judgments, trust their opinions. But it just shows that she has that kind of leadership mentality where she's not going to follow, and obviously that speaks to why she's in the position she is at the school as the cheerleader lead and taking leads and multiple other roles. But yeah, stocks were definitely rising. I think it's definitely time we speak on the misunderstanding, which is the trope that you might have mentioned like at least 2 episodes ago. How do you think they delivered or used it? Do you think they used it well, or you know what I mean?
Well, thankfully it didn't go in a way where it went like Ishigami completely torpedoed his own ship. But I don't know. I think this is just a thing where it's just I don't know. It took me out a bit because I just find it really unrealistic that literally no one told him. It's just that really, how can it doesn't even have someone to have to tell you? You could have heard it, because this is like one of the top 3 girls in the school that he confessed to in public, and he didn't overhear anyone speaking about it. But yeah, I think it was just I don't know. Part of me feels it's unnecessary to have this whole. It's just longing it out for no reason, and apparently it's going to be I don't know. It's just a bit ridiculous to me. And then they're talking about, he's just talking about even, this is even skipping ahead, I think, when we're at the play. And he's like, oh yeah, even though I gave it the heart, that doesn't mean I confessed. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, why you, just go back and think about what you did with the added context now that you understand the whole Hoshin tale. I can kind of give him a pass because he was like kind of loner. He probably didn't look into those kind of things, and then so I can give him a pass for that. But you have the context of this guy gave up his heart to let this princess live because he loved her, right? And you're like, oh yeah, it's like I sent her my love. So you have that context, but you don't think that you confessed, even though you said she asked you, what does this mean? And you held the heart up and you said, this is how I feel about it. That's delusion. But I guess the author even admitted, but like, Man's off his game. But like, bro, you're so off the game. I'm not putting you back in. He's way off, man.
Way off. Right, you can't even warm the bench no more. You just have to be. You're on the streets. Yeah. Just out the gym.
You have to wave him, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100. Those antics can't run because, like, it's like you said. It's like, you know the kind of girl she is, plus the situation, plus the public nature of the confession, and then when you're also doing the maths, like you're standing there. I did like the reaction to when he was at the back watching the play and he's doing the maths. That was actually funny because I was like, oh my days. It was so like cliche, but it was just jokes. Man was just there like, wait, oh my days. The Hoshin festival. The man gave her his heart. This symbolizes this. Or does it? Oh my days, I did the exact same thing. What's wrong with me? It was kind of like that. But he definitely should have clocked. And even when he clocked, I don't know. I think maybe he was in denial a bit. Like he didn't want to actually just accept the fact that he had done that, because then it would mean that he would also then have to approach her and have another uncomfortable conversation to just, sort out that situation. And knowing Ishigami, he was probably also trying to see how it played out, to see how he can, get through this with the least like minimal minimal interaction that he can do. It was jokes, but I hear that very unnecessary in some aspects. You could have skipped most of this part and this storyline without it being like dramatic to the story, because it doesn't really have any effect. For me, obviously, I'm always happy just to see Tsumabe and Ishigami together, and Ishigami in general. So I wasn't too sad. I
I feel it.
I think the last section of this was this the Kaguya archery bit, or was that the next section?
No. This when she launches the arrow. Dual Confessions. Cool.
Do you
That's
know,
a fire name, man.
Super fire. Super. I felt like she was gonna miss the way she was behaving.
I lie. It's kind of crazy how we all thought, oh yeah, this is gonna go wrong. It's gonna go wrong, and it didn't go wrong.
It did seem like they were teasing us a bit that it will go wrong, because they were obviously hinting that being such a prominent event, and Kaguya's going to do this, and obviously they were making Kaguya be in a scenario where her head is everywhere. Her head was actually legit everywhere. That you shouldn't be thinking about that many things when there's a bow and arrow in your hand and the arrow is on fire and 2 rows of students. Like I was like, somebody's gonna die today. Somebody is not making it home today. Oh my days! Like, luckily she made it. Luckily.
That whole scene was actually, it kind of reminded me of Monogatari, just the way it was framed, especially the voice acting in that scene. It kind of reminds me of whenever Aragi's doing a monologue, just how quickly, like, it just slowly sped up in the way she was talking, and she was like, oh yeah, the president's not here, I wish he was here, why isn't he here, I guess I guess he's trying to play a game with me. And then you have the outsiders looking in, oh, she's so calm. And then you just got this madness going on in her head. It kind of reinforces the fact where like Kaguya's outside image is just so different to what we actually know about her. But that's one of the reasons why we like this series.
No, it's for facts, and I always have to shout out is it Erica and Karen? The fangirls. Oh my days.
Mass media club.
Hey, they keep growing on me. I know I disrespected them the first time we talked about them because I didn't even mention their name because I just thought they're gonna be off-brand random characters, but I should have known because in the intro, as in the main OST, they're prominent in it. I should have known. I should have respected it. I should have learned their names. So I got mad love for them.
Yes, sir.
Oh my days. No, Kaguya, especially this bit for me, I do think this was the kind of bringing together all of the anxieties that she's been kind of trying to relax for the last 2 episodes. And it's now starting to kind of spill out because we've been seeing how much nervous energy and how much kind of in thought she was about where the president is, what he's going to do, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. And then obviously now with her understanding that obviously Shirigane is going abroad, I kind of felt sorry for her. And I was kind of like in a place where I was like, I thought she was going to do the confessing first. That's what the narrator or the writer were kind of pushing towards.
I think this part ended when she got to the roof.
The roof bit.
Yeah, this is like this part is like the build up to it. So, they revealed the Phantom Thief, and then she tries to. Then Chika gets in her. She gets in her head. She's trying to figure out the clue, and then Kaguya figures out that there's no actual mystery, and it's just like a challenge to her.
I kind of didn't like that, because I wanted Chika to have her high IQ plays. And I thought,
expose Chika. She's a fool.
Yeah, but I'm not even a Chika lover like that. And I felt sorry. I was like, come on, we can't have Chika running around doing like stupidness for with Erica and Karen. No, what do you mean? It's so disrespectful.
Hey, they chose to follow. They got taken by her bait. She's just out here talking nonsense and they believed her. It's actually so funny when Kaguya was like, "Oh yeah, this is just random." Chika just saw this and made some random inferences, and then Isaac was like, "Oh yeah, she looks super credible," and she's not. She got exposed. I mean, in the last hour, I got some Chika slander, but that's not even the big thing in this part. So I'm not even gonna focus on her blunder. It was that my theory was correct.
High IQ
Shirigane is the Phantom Thief, and
fake
I
Lupin.
just want to say,
fake.
I was thinking about Lupin when he was talking about this as well. Lupin. Hey, watch that on Netflix, buddy.
Bro, it's fire. I didn't finish the season 2, but shout out to Lupin and that actor. Is he French?
I think he's
that French actor. He is legit.
I like him. He's
legit. Yeah, and Shirigane doesn't have the swag like that, so.
Nah, he doesn't. But,
doesn't have the source like that.
Yeah, I mean, so what did you think about like when they revealed the Phantom Thief? Were you surprised it wasn't Chika?
Yeah, I was kind of praying it was Chika in the Games Club, and I just wanted them to have a significant role in terms of, actually applying pressure and doing some chaotic stuff during this episode. But seeing it being Shirigane, fake Lupin, out here with no swag, sourceless. Actually, let me not even hate on Shirigane that much. He doesn't deserve that slander. But
no, he does. The sources, he had no source.
Hey, Kay was somewhere crying Like he needs to. Oh my days! But this guy needs to not be allowed to dress himself. Should not be allowed to dress himself at all. It's actually embarrassing. The ideas that come in his head don't make sense. Actually, don't make sense. But Shirigane, I understood the vision in terms of he wanted to do something so profound and dramatic, and I think he was trying to be somebody he didn't think he was. So man had to cosplay, had to pretend to be somewhere else to give him like the confidence and the strength to carry out the mission that he was on. Because in some moments he was acting out of character, and even later on, we're trying to even later on the episode when Kaguya was even noticing that, like Kaguya was noticing like this is a different kind of side to Shirigane. But do you know what? He found the strength to accomplish what he had to do, and the length he had to go through and everything. Understood why.
Yeah. I think. For me, I was just like, yeah. I mean, it had to be here, and like they explain, I think in the next episode. So I'm not gonna go into that, but I mean, for me, because we already knew he had a plan, so I was just wondering, okay, so when are we gonna see this plan? And then last week, I was saying that like I was assuming that whole date thing was part of the plan.
Yeah.
So when they're showing him up on the roof, I was like, yeah, I mean, it could only really be him because there was no other characters that we know of that would do this. If I'm being honest, but yeah, I think it was very over the top what he did in Kaguya fashion. Like, can you imagine this? We're going to school, yeah, and then we're at a culture festival with vibes, and then you just see where the campfire, and then papers are falling, and then man's talking about, I've come to claim the festival, I'm going home.
I'm going home too. I said, this is too much, man. This is long.
Doing? just to confess to a girl. Just imagine, this is all just to get a girl to confess to. He's doing way too much. He got too much time. I'm joking, but
now you preaching, fam. It's never that deep. Like, you're not trying to marry this girl. This is not. So what is he gonna do? Yeah, but what he's gonna do when he's gonna get married? What kind of antics are gonna happen then? You see what I mean? You can't start this high. If not, you have nowhere to go.
I lie, because what he did in the next episode, oh my days. But on this episode, I did enjoy what they did, at least when coming to the end. They stripped Kaguya and Shirigane of I guess their weapons, so to speak. So when they're coming face to face, it's honesty, transparency, it's earnestness, it's just raw emotions, raw feelings coming head to head, no tricks. Well, he still had like one trick in the bag, but it was, it's just about you and me. It's not about me trying to trip you up or you trying to trip me up. I just want you to do this. I don't know how I can make you do this, but this is what I feel. And yeah, I liked how she tried to execute her plan. I mean, it flopped. And then Shirigane, he was high, but then, the buzz was wearing off and he didn't have a pick-me-up. So I was starting to feel a bit, what's that word? Squeamish. It's not the one I'm thinking of, but, he's embarrassed. He's like, well, what am I doing? Like,
he was like,
wow.
He looked himself in the mirror and was like, rah, is this my life? Is this the kind of antics I'm on? He said, I'm a crackhead. He said, I'm doing too much.
Exactly, though. I said, this is something that Chika would do. The others, that shows me he doesn't respect Chika either, because he's like, well, I've lowered myself to Chika level.
Yeah, that's a low that he never probably ever thought he'd reach. I love how he still kept on the whole costume though, because I would have, as soon as I started questioning my antics, I would have started taking off. I'm like, you know what? Let me just take off. Man said, nah, we continue.
I'm telling you. Well, I mean, this was like a nice little setup, Nice little setup. You got all the antics. They just really were gearing us up for the next episode.
Yeah, definitely. And it was definitely a good layoff. Going to the next episode. Should we jump to it?
Yes,
Unless you
sir.
have anything else.
I do not.
What I think it's called Jewel Confession Part 2.
Yes, sir.
That's the one. I'm kind of lost in my thought in where I want to start because there
Okay.
was some Ishigami stuff that I
You can
want to
start
comment
there.
in, but I don't know if that is significant enough for us to even like warrant talking about.
Depends which one are you talking about.
Not the most significant part, more of like just the Ishigami, continue to register and think about his confession and stuff like that. But I don't think that was really like a poignant moment.
I only had like one comment. I think that's another thing that showed how thoughtful he was, because even though he likes Tsubame and he would like to have her by herself monopolize her, he doesn't, because he understands how well respected she is by the student body, and he understands that even though the atmosphere to confess would be right in that situation, he can't find it in himself to take her away from all the people that want to talk to her, speak to her, hang out with her. Especially after he basically hung out with her the whole day, he didn't feel like it's fair to monopolize her even further, especially if they're not dating. So yeah, that's the only comment I had on that.
He's a better person than me. I would have monopolized heavy. I'd be like, hey, nah, sorry, she's busy. She's busy, mate. You can phone her later. Oh my days. I definitely feel like Love is War has been really missing the war aspects recently, and I don't know how I feel about that fully. I don't know how I feel about that. But saying that it has been giving off us other things that we've been kind of thirsting for, and just following the last episode about Shirigane and his cosplay, just seeing his whole plan really be initiated in this episode goes back to the thoughts we had in early episodes when we were like, I can't wait to see his kind of thought process and obviously what he was thinking and why he was doing some of these things. And did this kind of alleviate your previous feelings about Shirigane in terms of, oh, I don't like what position you're putting Kage in?
Yeah, I was thinking about this when I watched the episode for a second time, because especially when he was explaining, they both explained why they were so adverse to confessing. It made me understand why he had to force her into this position, corner her in this way, even though it kind of comes off a bit forceful. It was necessary, because I guess they're both quite insecure. I realize, because in this episode you can see how much doubt each one has, and what I didn't understand, I think, with Shirigane is I didn't know that he was gonna ask Kage to come with him, because I was like, wow. So I thought he was just trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm going, but I'm not actually going. But no, it seems he's serious about that. But because he's serious about that, he wants Kage to know the feelings, even if he has to put her in a tough situation. And we'll talk about the other stuff later, so I'm not gonna go into it. But my opinion has changed. I don't think he was wrong to make this plan. I think it was, because I think he even said, yeah, we have to address this if we want to move forward. So I think it was good for him to make this situation up, because that's the only way to like push through this last barrier that they had holding them back, it seems.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I feel it's definitely a very, it's going to also sound odd, but it was a reflective moment, but also the moment they were in, being reflective, was also the most present I've ever seen them, both as characters. Reflective in the sense that both Kaguya and Shirigane, like Kaguya was like really deep in the kind of individual she was and the kind of person she is now, and seeing kind of the opportunities that a person like Shirigane and even the people within the student council have allowed her to grow into because of just their dynamics and who they are and the type of people they are. And this is probably beyond them like really establishing their and being forefront with their thoughts. You can really see that they're even really considering their own growth in this moment. They're like, oh, look how far we've come. And I think that also just gives them kind of the strength to push on beyond this, because they're seeing, Kaguya seeing where she came from, how she judged people, how she probably wasn't as open to people. She only saw people for their use and how they can better herself or her family in a business sense or within like the school. And also in terms of Shirigane, we saw that even from such a humble background, he knew that he could achieve and shoot for the stars and be on a level playing field as the people that he admired, and obviously the most important and significant being Kaguya. And I really did understand Shirigane's point of reference in terms of the situation which would be best for him to, you know, confront Kaguya and showcase his feeling to her. It had to be in a position where it wasn't, I think for him, it wasn't like, I confess, I lose. It's like, I confess when she is not fully open to these kind of feelings or emotion, then we haven't reached a point in terms of, as individuals, you're not in a position of, you know, maturity, and I'm not in a position of maturity to be able to like actually form a relationship, because we need to be that we have to start from somewhere. I think that they season 1, 2, and now all the time they've been together, they've been building a foundation for this moment, and it was definitely beautiful and surprising, because even though we were coming to this, I was like, they're gonna somehow weasel out of this, you know what I mean?
I think I actually disagree, because I don't think, because even he was even saying, okay, if she doesn't confess, I'm gonna confess. Like, so either way, I'm gonna get an answer. I knew that this was definitely happening. Especially, you don't name the arc dual confessions arc and not have any confessions. So I was like, one way or another, it's gonna happen.
No, it's true, and definitely with the ultra romantic slogan, they couldn't leave us hanging. That would have been super disrespectful. Like I don't know how I felt if they ended it and there was no confession. I probably would have cried.
Oh no, I would have just asked for my money back because you've just lied to me.
I said, boo, that stinks. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say about this kind of section or add.
So I want to just talk about first. I guess I'll talk about the Shirigane's reason for why he didn't confess. This was very insightful, or no, not insightful, enlightening. It just helped me to understand, because I think throughout the season, even when we do our rewatch, we're like, oh, why don't you just say it? Just say it.
Yeah.
And I think either you said it or maybe I said it. We were talking about the positions of like power, where you were saying that Kaguya doesn't want to confess because she doesn't want to lower herself to servitor position or something like that. But really, it was that was kind of true on Shirigane's side because he wants to be on the same playing field as Kaguya. That's why he wants her to confess because he understands there's so many things about Kaguya already that already puts this into like a pipe dream. He doesn't understand. He doesn't. These two people, they're not even supposed to be, in this situation to begin with. Because I think in the spring of first year, they were saying like, oh yeah, you wouldn't have even had access to Kaguya if you didn't go to this school, especially with Shirigane's family background. But them two meeting, that probably would have never have happened. So this is probably the inferiority complex because we already saw that, oh, if you're the president, he thought, oh yeah, maybe I can be on equal standing. But it seems like he realized, oh, I'm the president, but this is probably not even enough. And then there's probably a thing where he's like, oh yeah, this isn't enough to be equal with her. Because that desire was strong even from the inception of his, attraction to her. And I think what was key was that the reason why he was working hard is to reach this equal playing field. And he felt like if he asks after working this hard, it's like a pride thing. He's like, oh, I don't feel like I will be equal to you if I have to continue to, if I have to request to you. I want to know that you like me. So if you take that initiative to confess your feelings first, then I know that you're not afraid to, be open and let yourself be vulnerable. And I know, to be honest, to put it simply, he just wants to know that she likes him back, and he feels like if he says it first, he might compromise his own position.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good way to explain. I'll be honest. I think it was a very good way to explain it because we already know during the first year he wasn't actually that confident. He was even, I don't know, like quite insecure. He didn't really have a positive mindset at all.
Yeah, 100%. Like, he's definitely a tactician in terms of the way he was thinking, like long term, and how this kind of relationship dynamic would work out. And I think, I don't know if I'm forcing it, I think he was kind of looking in like a deeper way in terms of this dynamic, in terms of your lifestyle, my lifestyle. We kind of have to deal with it now before we get into a relationship. You know what I mean? So we kind of have to, because these kind of dynamics in real life settings can happen, but people don't deal with it until they're in a relationship, and then they have to discuss about their feelings or their experience or how this makes them feel, the position they're in regards to kind of dynamic within the relationship. But because they dealt with it and slowly and grew with it in the sense that they were friends and obviously on the student council, they were able to not let this be kind of a negative or deeply negative thing in the future, if you know what I mean. Like, this is something that it's like Ishigami was like, Shirigane was like, if we deal with this now and I establish this foundation to our relationship, I know that the rest will be easy. And it's very true. Like, look how simple it will be going on from this because of the starting point they are now. And that's why I have no qualms with the way Shirigane kind of progressed throughout this season and the previous season to get to this point, because it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think he worked hard. As he said, he's been working hard, and you see it. He really has been working hard to get to this point where he can, confess his feelings. But I think just the last thing I guess before we talk about other points in the episode, just I didn't realize how, we were talking about Kage's mature, but I didn't realize how, negatively she thought of herself. And I think maybe that's because of the change that the other guys have had on her. She's started to think more broadly and realize how maybe limited her worldview used to be. And I think the reason why I think this learning the reasons was really good is that for Kaguya, I think it was just a case of she doesn't have, even though she seems so confident, she doesn't have confidence in this aspect where she doesn't know if the person is being nice to her because he likes her or just because he's nice to everyone. And I can understand that. That was very key to me. And then when she was just talking about like how she views herself, talking about like she's a cold, hateful woman with nothing but ugliness. So I was like, damn, like, is that really how you see yourself? That's I was just like, wow. I felt
she wasn't wrong though. She wasn't wrong. Her early antics were wild.
I don't know, like hateful though.
Yeah, she was going overboard. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I came with an agenda, because I was like, Kaguya, if you hate yourself, I'll have empathy and I won't be able to hate you anymore. So I was like, please stop chatting to yourself like that, because I still need to run this Kaguya agenda sometimes, occasionally.
No, you have to drop it still. Like, actually, talking about agendas, my Kashiwagi agenda is ended. Sorry, man. You're gonna have to hold that flag by yourself.
Maki's suffering though. Maki still, the agenda still has to run a bit, because Maki is still out here suffering.
It can't.
Kashiwagi came to flex.
No, she came to be kind.
She came to do reverse psychology.
No, she was by herself, and then Kashiwagi left her boyfriend, and then she said, "Oh no, I like you better than him." And I was like, "Wow, that's really kind of you."
No,
I don't know. That moment was really wholesome.
No, it's very sweet. Like, Mikey was looking around, was like, right, I hate love. Look at everybody, couples. I hate couples. She was in her bag. The face she made, I was like, Maki, no. I was like, why did you even go? You should have been like chilling with somebody else. Like, it's not by force. Be at this Hoshin love festival thing. Like, don't see the fireworks. But Kashiwagi, MVP, you're still, even though Daniel is forgetting some of the antics you pulled, and he's letting the agenda slide, I will still hold the agenda, because I know the power you, and I know what you're about. I know in my heart, because next week she'll be on a different kind of antics.
But next week she won't, because there's no episode.
You're right. Next week in my fan fiction that I'll be posting, so you guys can see the real Kaguya Lovers War, written by Rajel.
All my agendas are run. It's over. It's over. I'm telling you. And
best couple. Kobachi and what's it called? The cheerleader guy. Is the cheerleader?
I think his name was like Kazu something. Sorry, man. The team leader. That's what.
The team leader. Yeah. Best couple. Like, and I love how Kobachi was kind of seeing her effect on Inu. What was Inu?
Mm-hmm.
I said Inu.
That's another thing we were talking about.
Yeah, that's kind of, because we've been saying that it's like, she's too reliant on her, and she's seeing that's like she's too reliant. I need to wean her off of me so that she can mature emotionally and mature as a person. But even then, like, please don't wean yourself off her too fast, because she's looking for mandem, and I can't. Like, Miko is dangerous.
Yeah, I think that was a really interesting moment. Just having Kobachi. So that kind of confirms what we thought, that like Kobachi is trying to get Miko to be more independent. But she said that she was trying to wean herself off Miko too. So that kind of tells me that maybe they're just as reliant as each other. So she relies on Miko.
Yeah.
She's comfortable around Miko, so she's trying to force herself, well, not force herself, but she's trying to just open her boundaries. So that's probably another reason why she's going out with this guy, because it's not something. It kind of forces her to hang out with someone who's not Miko, interact with more people. Because I don't think we've seen her interact with that many individuals apart from Miko.
No, we haven't.
They're always a duo, isn't it?
Yeah, just them two. Like, never, like, personality wise, we know nothing about Kobachi. The only thing I can now establish that she's very mature and she is a deep thinker. She doesn't talk a lot, but she understands how things should work and what would benefit people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it actually shows her. It shows that she actually has a good relationship with the team leader, because she's comfortable talking about her relationship with Miko, with him, and she's just like getting this off her chest. She's like, oh yeah, Miko's getting the hard end of the stick here, and then he's like, oh, you don't have to be with me. And she's like, no, it's fine. And I think it shows team leaders, he's a good guy. I like him. And hopefully, I hope it's not just a cultural festival thing. I hope they do stay together. But she's going, isn't it? So
yeah, he is going.
We probably won't see a lot of it, but still, hopefully, stay together.
We need some updates with that. I think it's time you run your Ishigami and Miko like ship, steer it well. At this point, you don't have to steer it because it's going by itself.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I have to reiterate. I was like a crack ship with the Naki thing, but we all know Sasuke and Peruva, right? It's the Miko and Ishigami thing. I'm just gonna give you the Sparks notes, or very short version. Number one, he went out of his way to record the campfire to show Miko. Number two, he gave Miko the heart, even though he knows the implications of what that means in the festival. Yeah? And number three, what's number three? I remember now. He was just the whole moment is number three. Them two were actually talking and they were not actually fighting. They were sharing. They were being amicable, and when they're not fighting, the chemistry, it was kind of popping.
It's strong, man.
I think he likes her. Okay, no, let me not go too far. But I think
you're jumping too quick. You're jumping too quick. But it's festering. You can tell it's
festering, and I'm telling you, because how can he just go out? He was so quick to give up with the Tsubame thing. But he still remembered to record the thing for Miko because he knew how much she wanted this campfire to happen.
Hey, he's Mr. Thoughtful. He's Mr. Ishigami is dangerous, because he might move to many girls without even noticing he's moving to many girls. You know what I mean? Like, I can see him even then misunderstanding this interaction and thinking, it's all calm, and he is now later on like love triangle antics. Choose one, Sumabe. That would be low-key kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Are you sure?
No, it would be dreadful, especially because I love the character so much. If it was anybody else, I wouldn't mind that happening to him. Like, I don't mind the love triangle, but please keep that away from Ishigami. Keep that away from Ishigami.
Away from Kaguya in general. Love triangles they can be big doo-doo. I'm sorry.
No, you're right, man. You're right.
I actually remembered something. During the election, Ishigami said something along the lines where he says he doesn't like when people work hard and they're not rewarded.
Yeah.
And then Miko says, what does she says? Everyone looks so happy, and then he looks at her and he says, yeah, because
Yeah.
I think it didn't sit right with him that everyone is enjoying, but she's out here doing the patrol, and I think he really wanted to make sure that she was doing. He wanted to make her happy, and that's important, you know.
No, it's true. And it just goes to show, like, continuing his, like, that kind of gentleman thoughtfulness, and we've seen it so much in these 2 episodes, or this episode in this season, more than ever. Like, he's actually a top-notch great guy. He doesn't seem to think about himself a lot, and the worst thing is that when he thinks about himself, it's really negative. That's like, Ishigami, you have to stop that. I don't like that. I've got too much love for you. He's probably my favorite character in this whole series. Like,
Ooh.
I don't want anything bad happen to him. I got mad love for Ishigami. But yeah, man really thought about her and went out of his own way. And he didn't have to, because wasn't an expectation. There was no expectation for him to even do that, or a need. Like, it was really just like, oh my days, this is how much I also need you to be happy and to enjoy this day, because I respect and I see how much effort you put in. And also speaks to Miko, man. She does everything. She works so hard, and she doesn't mind missing out on something that she put all her effort in. Because I'm not gonna lie, if I did put all the effort in, I'm there. I'm the one who's lighting the fire. I'm the one who's doing. You think I'm gonna miss everything? I'm gonna be center of attention if I planned it. You must be mad. You not catch me doing walking around the block, like looking around, making sure everything is right. Nah, I'm gonna be there, seeing everything. I'll give that to somebody else. Oh my days.
But I feel it. Like, see, we have to enjoy, everyone is enjoying. Let me enjoy too. That was funny. Now, I guess one last moment from me before we, I guess I'll hand it back to you. I said last week, because I went and checked. I said last week it would be funny if shirigane took all the balloons to do some grand gesture, and then I was like, I don't think that would happen, and then it happened, and I was like, bro, what? I didn't think he was actually gonna do that ish, and we were asking who helped him, and it turned out that the don from the lady from the mafia family helped him put all those balloons in one big balloon. Which, if we didn't even talk about the whole balloon thing, that's crazy.
That is.
I calculated the air draft. You see, this is why we said he's doing too much, bro.
The mathematics that went into that. His whole plan in general was ridiculous. His whole plan in general was just ridiculous. Like, the amount of effort you put into everything, and I don't understand how students are able to have access to that rooftop, because
it's because he's the president.
But even then, that's just so dangerous, especially the time of day. Like, I just don't know. There's no teachers. Anything could happen.
I mean, you're right, but they were like, oh yeah, only the student council has access to the tower. So I think they during the first season, they basically just said the student council's like the boss in the school. Like, they're the very top of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
But I think it was nice how they showed how he put the plan into fruition because of the principal and his fellow club member. I don't even know why she helped him, but
hey, she's kind of goated for that, because her limited appearance, she just seems like a chilled individual, but I can know she has the most reckless bone in her body. But she's also, I can tell, just lazy, so she doesn't want to do anything about it. But just the way that he kind of got her involved, and it's kind of the right person to get involved, because she's part of the mafia family. She respects keeping stuff a secret and discretion. She understands that, you know, we can't talk too much. We get these plans rolling and nobody ever knows what happens. Like, she's on crud.
Yes, sir.
And even before, I was gonna say, I love the song. The song. It was Kimi to Watashi. Oh my days, are you mad? That was a banger.
I'm telling you, the OSTs these 2 episodes, they were fire. Oh my gosh. Honorable shout to Kaguya for kissing man too. That was perfect.
No, it was until we realized it wasn't. But let's talk about how it was before that.
Like, can we do wasn't first? Because it's funny. She gave man tongue on the first one. That's crazy. Oh my.
Hey, no wonder man was sitting down at home and thinking about life. Just thinking about everything. It's like, oh my days, what does this mean? Man was reliving that. That was absolutely wild. And I love how she's just oblivious to what she does. She's so chuffed. She just thinks it's normal. Like,
I'm scared of her, bro.
Oh my days. That moment, and afterwards, when she was talking Hayasaka, she was on cloud 9. No, she was on cloud 10. I don't know. Actually, I don't even know what cloud she was. She was beyond clouds. She was in heaven, because that was not Kaguya. That's not the Kaguya we know. What was that voice? What was that voice she was talking in?
The elation, pure elation. Because I don't know. It's just scary to me that she saw Tsubasa and Kashiwagi kissing like that, and she was like, "Okay, cool, that's the move." I'm like, bro, what? Like. You didn't think to reference or anything. You hit him with that straight away, and this goes back to what the lady was saying last week, where she was like, "Oh yeah, if you teach her, she'll be amazing in the bedroom." And I was just like, "Okay,
I'm finished."
I don't know how you know that, but maybe she was right. I'm scared of her.
And we didn't even mention the last episode, but that lady had too much information on them. Like, it's stupid amount of, I don't know. Like, they need to question her. Keep tabs on her. That's going to be a dangerous young woman one day. But yeah, Kaguya, she's a wild individual. You can't just stick your tongue first time like that. Wild. But I love her confidence. I actually did appreciate the confidence, because it was straight and direct. And that's like the opposite of what we've seen by Kaguya this whole time. You know what I mean? Like, and you just wouldn't expect it. And obviously, it was ultra romantic, like the namesake, the title. It was the balloons, the atmosphere, the feels. I hope it wasn't too cold for them, you know. But even they probably didn't care, because their heart rate was probably racing through the roof. So they were keeping the blood flow was strong, the temperature in their body rising. They were calm. It was casual. But oh my days, I don't know if, like, I loved it. But it also felt like the end, you know what I mean? Like, the end of what we know to be this show, you know what I mean, so far.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's the closing of the chapter, the climax of this whole period of will they, won't they, I like you, you like me, just say it, okay. And even then, they didn't even put it really out there. And that was, you know, it's kind of frustrating, but we kind of understand why, but obviously, they skip forward and we see them holding hands. So I'm assuming they know what it is.
Yeah. But if they don't, and we continue to play games, I'll be vexed.
Yeah, I won't be here. Sorry, man.
There will be no
Joe by himself.
There will be no rewatch of Kaguya season 4 if that's the antics. It would just be episodes of us just cussing down the riots. Like, what are you on, man?
You don't want to hear that, I'm telling you.
100%. 100%. I definitely continued to feel sorry for Chika, but she did take a slight W. But somehow,
no, she didn't. That wasn't her W.
No, it still counts. It still counts. She did
making
all
stuff up, bro.
the longitude, the latitude, the atmosphere pressure,
it was cap.
The look of the moon.
It wasn't even meant to be found. She just made random stuff.
Yeah, it was
She threw
cap.
stuff out the wall and saw what stuck.
It was cap, but like the producer said, a miracle. I said a miracle, and if you have to do something, you have to have faith for a miracle to perform. And Chika, it might have been like way left field, but her faith allowed them to stumble on this secret room from whatever time period that this building was built in, and I respect that.
I don't, but you know what? You can have it.
I don't know why I'm fighting for Chika. Like, I love this girl.
Apparently you do.
Low key. I think I just felt sorry for her. But when Erica, I think it was it was Karen. Karen looked out the window with the binoculars. And
When she quoted the scripture,
oh my
God.
days! She started speaking in tongues, man. The spirit hit her. She was in a different. I don't know why these two girls are like this. I don't know what
They might be the funniest people on the show. 'Cause when I saw the gospel according to Luke, chapter 178, I just started creasing, bro. That was too fun.
Yeah, that was jokes, and I respected it because it is that shocking. Like, it's that shocking to see these two individuals lip sync on the tower, and like,
Especially his Kaguya as well.
facts.
Oh.
Facts.
So she saw them doing the tongue tennis. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do you think Chika saw, or do you think Chika didn't get to see?
Nah,
Because Karen was next.
Because of the balloons, they go on their way, so they get to see.
True. That's unfortunate because I would love to see Chika's reaction to that. She would not let that slide. She'll blackmail them, you know. If they don't want to release it, she'll actually blackmail them.
Nah, stay calm, bro. She won't do all that. Actually, I don't know. For
She
gender's
said-
sake, I'll say yes. You know, politician's daughter and all them things there.
Nah, just know that from that day on, Shirigane and Kaguya will be at all the game clubs, games and events, and they'll be signed up part of the team. Like, it will be an obligation, probably that everybody has to go to the game club at least 3 to 4 times a week, so that they can, you know, really enjoy some of their big elaborate games that need more than 4 people.
Yes, sir. Okay, Rijal, do you have any more comments for this episode? We've been here for a while, I can tell.
Yeah, we've definitely been here for a while. Yeah, kind of my overall final thoughts, especially this episode, is it's definitely, and I don't want to be like the person to, you know, be a prisoner of the moment, but it seemed like one of the most perfect endings to like a series and a storyline for this moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with how we usually end these seasons. We usually end it with like big loose ends and then something dramatic and an explosion and a game, and then it's like until next time. But this time it wasn't like that. It was like, this is actually a real end to this kind of plot point and this storyline, which is kind of sad, but also I'm also very happy to actually see us progress and go somewhere with it. I am kind of baffled by how they're going to make the plot line regarding was it Stanford? Yeah, Stanford. I don't know how they're going to make that work. It seems kind of odd to me because obviously Shirigane is trying to...
We can talk about it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Shirigane is trying to get her to enroll and go with her. And you even said it early on. But it just doesn't seem practical. And obviously, I understand in the heat of the moment how happy and elated they are. They probably think anything is possible. She's like, oh, I'm going to tell my family. I have to sort this out. Do this. But like it doesn't seem practical. It doesn't seem. So I don't know how they're going to deliver that. I do believe something is going to be put in the spanner where both of them are unable to go. So maybe Kaguya does even get in and they are en route to actually leave, and then somehow something transpires and maybe they defer the year, or plans change, what they kind of prioritize kind of change educational wise, or other opportunities appear for both of them. But it just seems like that the writers are going to key in on that as something that's going to be, significant for the plot going forward, because now we've kind of done this section and we're over it and we understand and everybody has clarity. This is the only thing that it's so everything's blurred. We're like, what's going to happen from now? I do kind of still want them to go abroad or do something. So maybe they leave for a bit and they didn't like it and come back or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the fact that he felt that was one of the most important things to tell Kaguya, that he wants her to come to Stanford with him, that was interesting, because that's what he wants. I don't know if that's what Kaguya wants. And we've seen at the parents' evening that she doesn't really have any concrete plans of what she wants to do. Like, okay, she comes to Stanford, but what's she gonna do there? Obviously, Shirigane wants to go to Stanford for a specific reason, I'm guessing. And that's why he's trying to learn English and all them things. Oh, okay, what would Kaguya go to Stanford with? What would she go to Stanford for? She can't just go because exactly. Like, there needs to be a specific reason in the plot. Like, I need Kaguya to want to go because she wants to go, not because Shirigane is going. So I think this is gonna lead into like the future arcs, just Kaguya finding what she wants to do in life, becoming independent from her family, because she was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to abandon my family, and she said that casually. That's a big thing,
That is a big thing, man.
Exactly. Like, so is she saying she's gonna have to separate herself from her family to do this, and that's gonna have repercussions in the future, because we already know that the group, Shinomiya group, is a big deal worldwide, seemingly. But I think this is obviously going to lead into the whole Shinomiya family arc, where, because obviously Dad's not going to agree with Shirigane as a man because of the disparity in family status. And obviously, if Kaguya starts talking about, yeah, I want to go to Stanford, he's probably going to be like, no. And I don't see them convincing him in the timeline to meet the deadline to apply. So yeah, I think this Stanford thing is the author saying, okay, this is probably going to be the next goal, if you can call it that, to what, or the next plot line that we're leading to now that these two are together. How are they going to deal with actually going to Stanford? Does Kaguya actually want to go to Stanford? What does Kaguya want to do? Yeah. So more Kaguya development, I'm thinking, is on the horizon.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, because like I can understand them, like I said, being lost in the moment and just enjoying the fact that, oh, it's been, look how long and how hard we fought to get to this point, and that we're finally here. Like, anything's possible. Let's shoot for the moon. Let's do the most, do anything. But that would definitely be the dimension that will allow us to continue to see Kaguya in kind of different lights and different positions, where they have to even communicate in a way that, they're now a couple, you know what I mean? And we have to make decisions that are with each other in mind. Anything we do, you have to understand and be empathetic to where the wants and needs of the other person, and then like move together towards, growth and stuff like that. But yeah, that was definitely the thing that I wanted to touch on. And if there's anything else from you in terms of the show, our experience of this whole season, this episode.
Okay. I was thinking this, now we could do like an extra episode to talk about like the whole season as a whole, and then just do that next week, so then we can talk about all this other stuff. But just to conclude, great ending to the season. Really delivered on all the plot lines, and hopefully we'll set up for some things that will have some nice payoff in the future. Looking forward to seeing these two in a relationship. Hopefully they keep the balance between the comedy and the seriousness right, and we kind of see the new conflicts that are arising. Maybe seeing Shirigane in a more insecure position, being overprotective, yada yada yada. And looking forward to seeing Ishigami and this whole Tsubame thing. Hopefully it works out. Resolves. I don't know if it's gonna work out as in him dating her, because delaying it to March is a very long period of time, and lots of things can happen.
It is too long.
I don't have a number rating, but it was a good season.
Yeah, it was a solid season. I think we'll definitely come back next week with a like an overview or a discussion, and we just say our favorite points and the best areas of the season, character wise, plot point wise, story progression, all of that. But guys, just want to say appreciate all like the views and the support and the likes and everything, and engaging with us on the platform as we did the rewatch, or I mean the TheAKwatch, not the rewatch like Daniel says. And it's been lit. It's definitely been lit. So yeah. Anything else?
Yes. Like Ujal said, thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. This series was a special one, so we appreciate everyone who was liking or commenting and sharing the videos. And if you have another series that you want us to follow, I don't know about the summer season because it's looking a bit dry, but
very dead.
If you have another series that you want us to talk about weekly, just let us know on the Twitter, email, and it's all in the description, or in the comments below. So, and we'll let you know if we can do that. But until the next one,
peace. Catch you guys in a bit.
I love you.